Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2021 International 9-Ball Open. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sounds like you're ready. Thank you very much. This is a Pat Fleming production, and it's being brought to you by Accu-Stats. We're in the Simonis Aramis Arena, as we always are for the International, and we're always at the beautiful Sheraton Norfolk Waterside Hotel here in Norfolk, Virginia, our gracious hosts for the past 4 years, and we thank them once again for their great hospitality. A special thank you, as always, to Diamond Billiard Products for providing us with the best equipment in the business for all our events and their support throughout the years of Accu-Stats and Pro Pool. Truly an international lineup here, 128 players representing 22 different countries vying for this prestigious title and the $30,000 first place prize, which will be awarded Saturday evening. We began our single elimination knockout stage last night with 32 players. We carried 16 into today. There's now 15 left. We just said goodbye to Naoki Oi, Dennis Grabe moving ahead. So we're going to whittle it down even further, starting right now. From Germany, this gentleman's a world 9-ball champion. He's done a lot of other things too, and he's going to do a lot more before it's all said and done. He's sponsored by Predator, and he's known as the Killer. Please welcome Joshua Filler. His opponent, representing Austria, he's a 2-time world 9-ball champion. He's also sponsored by Predator. Would you please welcome Albin Ouschan. All right, gentlemen, please go ahead and lag for the break if you would. Your official timekeeper is Julie Ha. We're going to send it upstairs to the commentary box now to the voice of Accu-Stats, Billy Incardona, and USA Mosconi Cup captain Double J, Jeremy Jones. Go ahead up in the booth, guys.
Well, one heck of a match. You heard Kenny announce it, former world 9-ball champion, Josh Filler, and another name that kind of speaks for itself, and reigning world 9-ball champion of just in June, I believe it was, Albin Ouschan of Austria. So don't have to really build this one up too much, do you, Billy?
No, this is certainly a sweater's delight, these two guys. Both world 9-ball champions. Who is the better of the two? I think it's pretty close, and we're going to certainly shortly find out who's the best today.
Yeah, we'll have Kenny show him and remove the template we're using for this tournament from Outsville, and two guys that have already been named for this year's European Mosconi Cup team, and hard not to pick these two. I mean, Filler, you know, singles play, never has a bad year, doesn't have that huge win in singles this year like you would normally, you know, expect from this guy, the lefty. Huge win in the World Cup of Pool, though. No bigger tournament when it comes to professional doubles play. Him and his partner from Germany had taken that title. And speaking of that World Cup, Austria, you know, won that World Cup. Albin Ouschan and Mario He. The prior year, it was a year off because of pandemic, but So two guys that are very used to each other, obviously very used to the biggest moments in our sport. And a tough little decision to start here for Filler. You know, this, if any, in rotation, Billy, the one moment to where knowing your opponent really means something, right? The rollout.
Yes, it does. But I kind of like what he did there, pocketing the 3, challenging Ouschan with his long shot on the 2. If he puts it down, Ouschan, that is, he would have then had 3 had the Filler not pocketed it. Then the 3 is a lot easier to play position for than the 4. Let's see, because he's going away from the 4 here.
Okay, he's going to get to the back side of the 4 with another medium tough shot, but not as tough as the 2 ball he just knocked in. And you'll see that. I mean, the guys know the safety part of the game, so I think even more when the pressure gets on, you'll see the guys challenge with a tough offensive shot a little more often than you would think.
Well, Filler almost was forced to do something, a little
Very unexpected.
aggressive. Well, yeah, that was an unexpected miss there. It's not often that you're going to see Ouschan miss a ball like that.
Yeah, a little quick with the transition. Another thing you'll rarely ever see. You may just have to paper thin this and not run the cue ball much. That's kind of what I see. Keep it simple. I don't know if he can get the 4 in a good spot. And the reason why I say that is because, you know as well as I do, distance is great, but at this level, a lot of times you'll still take the worst of it, even though you kind of got them rail to rail.
Right. Rail to rail from that position is very, very, presentable there.
Yeah. Now, I wouldn't try to get him up on the 7 and the 5. I would use the 7 and 5 collectively to try and bank the 4 down his right side of the table. It'll be the bottom part of your screen. And just kind of bleed the cue ball over here there to the side rail, trying to use the 7 and the 5. Now you can see there, Albin, a very left-eye dominant player for a right-hander.
The angle suggests to me that he's going to have a problem controlling the speed of the cue ball here and the speed of the 4 ball.
Well, that's what I say. I think maybe just uses the 5. Maybe get the 4 out in a little bit of space as best you can. Yeah, that's what he was trying to do. Just, like I said, just use the 5 as much as he could. I think keeping it simple there was pretty smart play.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I believe he can see the side of the 4 here, maybe even the whole 4. I'm not quite sure from our vantage point. It's hard to make that distinction. Let's see what he does here.
Cross corner. He's wanting to try and make it. Yeah, and it's funny. Of course, that's a 9-ball player's shot, but one thing I saw on this trip is Filler play a ton of one pocket in Las Vegas. So maybe that helped a little bit there on that cross corner.
Yeah, I'm sure that it did.
Ooh, kind of squeezed that one home.
One pocket is a great game to familiarize yourself with different types of banks and shots and safeties.
And it really helps you with the line of the cue ball and all those shots as well. So he's caught a couple thick to the pocket. I don't think it's going to cost him anything here in rack number 1. But now one thing you'll see, not a major difference, but definitely a noticeable difference in the pace of the play around the table for these two players. Now, Josh has slowed it down a little bit since just a few years ago, but he doesn't waste much time.
Yeah, well, he sent a pretty strong message to Ouschan, given the opportunity he was able to make good with. On the other hand, Ouschan had the first opportunity. He missed the 3 or 4, or the 4 on the side.
Yeah, he made a great shot on the 2 after the rollout. And like I said, usually very, very calm transition, a little quick on the stroke on that one. Maybe a little bit of early nerves. But then a great cross-corner bank there by Filler.
In a match of its importance and its significance, Ouschan stepping to the table, knowing that he blundered in that rack, missing a relatively easy shot. What's going through his mind right now, you think?
Well, I mean, what I see from Albin is a guy that'll process. He knows misses happen. I don't see it being a continual problem for him. Like I said, just a little process on what happened there with the miss. Of course, he's not happy about it. But, I mean, you can't be two-time world champion, a guy that, some say arguably the greatest Mosconi Cup player to ever play, and not necessarily just record. His record's very good. There may be some a hair better. But the way he does kind of perform after a mistake here and there, he's a guy that can settle in and regroup with the best of them.
Well, once you attain or reach this type of proficiency, you have to have a short memory.
Yeah, I think it was Arnold Palmer that I read about saying that, when he didn't like something, he'd give it 10 seconds of saying some ugly words to himself, and then he would leave it alone. And, those golfers, they had a good 4 or 5 minute walk to their ball each time, right? So we don't have that luxury. So you got to leave it behind pretty quickly. It's weird. He practiced the same exact shot right before the match started, and ironically, it was the 2 ball, and he hit it exactly like that, overcutting it. I kind of feel like he was going for the pocket there. Maybe not, though.
Maybe not. Right.
Maybe the 2 wasn't playable.
The 2 looked, from my vantage point, a little thin.
Okay.
But possibly not. But if it was thin, then he executed the shot very nicely.
And I kind of feel like the way the speed was, and again, not too many troubles with cueing with Albin very often. I kind of feel like the safety was what he had in mind.
Well, certainly was one of the options out there, even if they were able to pocket the 2.
Right. Trying to go around the 5, it looks like. He caught the 5. So Albin's going to get an offensive shot here. Nothing easy.
Now, he's got to be concerned with the cue ball going across table toward the 5 here, because there's a lot of interfering balls in between the 3, the ball he's playing position for.
Well, I'll tell you.
And
looking at this shot, Billy, I might just take my chances coming across into the 9-5 with the cue ball.
Well, it looks like, that's a natural way to play this shot, which is going to increase the accuracy of the hit.
Right.
And I agree. This is a very, very important shot in this second game, and he really wants to give himself the best chance of putting it down. Let's see what happens there.
Yeah, if he hits downward on the cue ball, which he's doing a little bit of, that means he's trying to maybe avoid him. Like a little downward center ball. Oh, beauty there.
Nicely struck. Very nicely struck. He did avoid, obviously, the 5. And in doing so, he came out perfectly on the 3.
Yeah, what I saw that's going to obviously be there, I think, but good to see early on a tough shot. He really flowed with the swing there on the 2 ball, right?
Nice shot.
Yeah. Well, stayed aggressive with the stroke, but he didn't kill it. Just a nice back and forth motion.
Really, the type of stroke is really not that common either, but he handled it like with ease.
Yeah, don't ever mention this to the guys, of course, because you never want to mess with them with their mechanics or technique. But something I talk about a lot with Albin, and I don't know if you'll notice it, but we may not get a camera on it, but watch the backhand when you get a chance, Billy. You'll see that Albin is another guy that actually lets the cue go on about 75% of shots and kind of regrips it on the way through, kind of throws the cue, a la kind of Efren Reyes. I think it's probably the best technique there is, in my opinion.
Therefore, he doesn't tighten up at all. It's all loose.
And just the momentum of the follow-through lets it come out of his hand. Most that actually play that way, it's not by design. It's just something that you actually learn to do on kind of naturally.
But consequently, you get a better feel of the speed of the cue ball and everything with that, because now the weight of the cue is doing all the work, just
Yeah.
about, and then you know, it's not more of the arm. It's just the
Exactly.
weight of the cue doing the work, which you should be able to feel the speed of the shot better.
Well, I'll tell
Yes.
you, the Coe brothers have a video out there on YouTube. Of course, it's in Mandarin. You have to watch, us and Americans have to watch the captions, but they explain what the process is. And everything they say is the same things that I've always said about it. There's no resistance because you don't have the hand on there. So you have a
Right.
complete acceleration happening, pure. And it's the straightest stroke there is because the hand's not on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And if you can master it, or if you can adopt that, I think it will be a benefit.
Yeah, there's still a lot of great young players now. Non-complying break, Jesus Atencio, which I'm surprised he's not here for this event. A great upcoming player from Venezuela, now resides in Texas. He's another player. There's a lot more of them. Feder Gorst does it on shots. Niels Fayen does it on shots. Of course, many of the Filipino players. But really a great technique, and if you're interested in it, go look up the Coe brothers on, I think it's on YouTube, about like I said, throwing the cue. Now, you won't see it, and I'll drop the subject now and get back to the game, but you won't see it on the lighter ones. And the reason why is you don't create enough momentum on a lighter swing to be able to let the cue just naturally release. So you won't see it on like a little simple nip draw and stuff like that. But anytime on the follow, stun, even a lot of heavy draws, you'll see the guys, like I said, the cue will come completely out of their hands. Now, Josh with a non-complying break there. Albin Ouschan, we talked about a two-time World 9-Ball champion and reigning World 9-Ball champion. And, you know, we talk about Shane having 5 U.S. Opens. Well, really, Albin's been in position many times to win that championship again. It's eluded him a little bit of luck, and a few times some guys that just weren't going to be denied, like Carlo Beato one year just kind of took it away from him in the semifinal, I think it was. But I'll tell you what, motto of consistency plus can come with the shot.
Kind of curious how he plays shape on the 7, because you could play it a couple different ways. He played shape to go cross table twice, which is probably the best way to play it, as opposed to trying to get a little straighter and then draw it off that side rail toward the 8.
Well, the reason why, what I was going to say, it was probably the right way when you said I'm interested, just because of the way Albin plays, right?
Yes.
But the thing about, well, the thing about the way he played it, he can always guarantee to get an angle that moves the ball twice.
Excellent.
So he has a lot of room for error playing that position.
Excellent point. I was going to say yes.
Yeah, if he tries to get straight, man, you know how easy it is to get funny, right?
Yeah, right. And that's why I was kind of curious, because if you get fairly straight, you can still draw it down. But if you get, a little awkward on it, then you have a problem.
Yeah, you might be drawn on top of the 8.
Yeah, exactly. You
like
might be drawn on top of the 8. But with the way he played it, there was no chance of drawing on top of the 8. Nicely executed. It's going cross table twice. He hit it a little softly and had to use the bridge because he didn't get cross table far enough to make it a simple out. But nevertheless, it looks like he's getting out anyways.
Yeah, and I don't recall Albin with match time here on the main table in the 9-ball event. I don't recall that happening yet. So he may still be getting a little more comfortable with the speed of the table, where we had filler once, I know, at least.
Grabe played a real nice match, the match that preceded this match.
Well, I thought Oy played very well also, and the one impressive thing by Grabe is nothing really going his way at the beginning. Without him making any mistakes, he trailed, 5-1, I believe it was, after 6 games, and held his own, kept his concentration. I think he took a very good timeout, even though he was in a bad spot, just to try and slow things down a little bit. And then, as they not always do, but a lot of times do, things changed. Opportunities changed. We had a few dry breaks, a non-complying break from Oy, and Grabe capitalize.
Well, I came in at the tail end, not the tail end of the match. I came in when the score was 7-5. Grabe was trailing at 7-5.
Right.
And I watched the play from there out. And Grabe really played strong. And he played real strong against Strickland, too, in this match on this table.
Yeah, well, that's, I think, what it was going to take, not only to beat Oy, but I think, from what I saw, Earl played some really solid matches here in this tournament. And just like we lost Oy in the last, I mean, Oy was up over 900, 950-ish a lot of the match. He ended up around 900.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
but still, I mean, he could easily be still in the tournament, right?
Easily, right. Easily is right.
All right, a complying break and a ball down. Very difficult. You know, if he felt good about going to the side rail, he could kick and come across the one, trying to bank the one back up that right side rail mildly and drift the cue ball over. There's no guaranteed snooker there, though. Man, this looks dicey.
Yeah, he's looking
to the bottom of the top rail there.
Yeah, it's hard to hit that one thinly enough to
really run the cue ball.
Yeah,
run
right? The cue ball. So that's a very difficult kick. He's confronted with a very difficult situation here. He can push.
Yeah. And you may push the cue ball forward a little bit, you know, just to kind of size it up. But the good thing is, watch, Albin will commit. I mean, that's the one good thing about him. He'll commit to the shot, even when it sits a little funny. Oh,
well, you can't hit it much better than that, Jeremy. Really, that was a beautifully executed kick. Exactly the way he played it, and he's got great results.
Well, you know, we had so many great minds years ago when it came to, you know, playing all parts of the game. Not to take anything away from, you know, yourself, Nick Bronner's, Buddy Hall's, Efren's, all those, but I still see it as a whole. The greats these days kick at the ball a little bit better. Don't you think they've gone to the next level on understanding what's possible on kick shots and how to execute them?
Absolutely. But I'll tell you what has really compromised that is that the jump cue.
Right.
Especially with the American players. The Europeans don't have the jump cue when they play. So therefore, they have to, hone their kicking skills. But not the American players. They can go to the jump cue, and they're not really getting the practice with the kicking that they should be getting to compete with these Europeans when you can't use the jump cue.
You're right. And plus, it's, even in events when they can use them, it's just I think one of the things is the jump cue allows that automatic hit. So that gives you a little bit of a security blanket kind of thing. And you don't even evaluate correctly sometimes, players realizing that, hey, even though I can jump and hit it, the kick is still the better play.
Yes. Yeah, there are instances where that's 100% correct.
And he's a little upset with that one. He could have pocketed that ball. And he knows that, when given opportunity and making great shots like he did on the first one here in this rack, he's got to take advantage, right?
Absolutely. He's playing, arguably the best player in the world.
Yeah, he's definitely in the argument. He's just got to pinch this. I mean, I don't really see any other way. Oh, is he too close to it? Is that why he doesn't want to just nip it on the back of the 5? Yeah, pretty good.
He's got all the shots, doesn't he, Jeremy?
Well, yeah, and like I said, his instincts, too. I think you were there for the make it happen when they had, maybe not, but I did a bunch of matches for the straight pool and the 8 ball and then the 10 ball. And Filler showed him that I'm no one-trick pony. That's for sure. He can do it all. All right, maybe trying to kick this cross corner. Maybe gets a little action on the 4 as well.
Good call. I don't know if he can pocket the 3. It looks like he may be able to pocket the 3 here.
He loves it. He's just going to regroup for the first shot. Josh does that a lot. Of course, he'll take time when needed. He's no He's a very smart player as well. Caught that a little thick to the pocket. That's what cost him a little bit of cue ball there. So what it's going to do is it's going to cost him a little bit of cue ball on the 5. He's going to have to shoot from a little further away, maybe, Billy?
Then he's going to have to hit the meat of the 5. Oh, excuse me, of the 4 here. So the 4 looks to hit the long rail. No, he went under the 8-9. I thought he was going to try to go on top of the 8-9.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think that shot on the 3 has just made him have to shoot the 5 from a little further away. No problem, though. And Josh, as much as anybody, in my mind, and I saw it in game number 1, it reminded me of his strength, is get down and knock the ball in. He actually keeps it more simple with the cue ball than most, until needed.
Got to be careful here.
He's gotten on top of this one.
Yeah, it's makeable, but certainly not where he wanted to go. Let's see what he does here. I kind of like for him to go two cushions behind the 8 here.
I think the 8-9's fine. If he wants to just pinch this, making the pocket a hair bigger, the 8-9 combo, pretty easy shot for this guy.
But he increases the accuracy by hitting it harder like that and going 2 cushions behind the 8.
Yeah, nice shot. Now, is he getting a little funny? Is he going a little towards the 9 on top of the 9?
He may even have to brush the 9 here.
Right, kind
of.
of.
Little elevation.
Move it away a little bit. Wow. No slow rolling it there, Billy.
No, he's got that gratifying sound when the ball hits the back of the pocket.
A little quick on the transition there. That's why that 9 caught a little thick, but 2-2 here after 4 games.
He seems to be quite happy and satisfied with how he's performing. It's understandable. He just won the straight pool event that preceded this event.
Who's that?
Joshua Filler.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, wasn't he the player that won the straight pool right before?
I thought Federer. I didn't ever hear who won. I thought Federer and Chernyshov, the 2 Russians, were in the final.
Were they?
I thought so. Yeah. In fact, I think these 2 might have been the other semifinalists in those. The final 4 in that.
Oh, you're probably right.
I could be wrong, and I'm sure someone will inform me. They usually do via message, which is pretty good about today's technology, right? We got all kinds of producers out there. But I thought my friend Alan back from Moscow, I thought he made a post that both them guys had gotten to the finals.
Well, he let up on the break. He didn't go with the cut break.
He cut it quite a bit.
He did?
He just hit a little more full, but the cue ball definitely came 1 rail back into the rack. It's actually, if you can repeat that one, that's kind of ideal. Now, that one's hard to repeat because if you don't hit that connection just right, you'll non-comply a lot. You'll tend to hit 1 ball up the table, not 2.
Looks like it's cuttable.
Yeah, an interesting shot there. Was he afraid of making them both? I'm wondering why he didn't just slow roll that.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering the same thing, and now that you brought it up, I'm even more curious.
It certainly looked like to me he could hold the 2 up just rolling that ball in. A little more filler 1 pocket right there for you.
And that ball was cuttable, but he opted to bank it because he had a better cue ball when banking it, and the shot wasn't that much more difficult either. So he's playing really confidently.
He had a little 2-way there with the 3-7 the way they were also. Really kind of running behind the balls there.
Yeah, there you go.
The 2 ball also kind of was sending the cue ball towards the 4-9 with a lot of speed. So I think he was a little fearing maybe losing the cue ball in one of those corners. But now kind of off to the races. And a lot of what Filler does makes quick work of open tables. You know, for a player that not as seasoned and a guy that hasn't played filler as much as Albin has, and you know they probably have much, you know, or many matches, right?
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, filler's pace could be a little intimidating to some, right, at times, or maybe get you off, you know, off a little bit. But I don't think that's something that's going to bother Albin.
And why do you say that? Because he's got a fast pace and he wins games so quickly?
Yeah, and he rarely misses.
I think that has more to do with the pace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I'm saying the pace along with that, you know, it's one thing to settle yourself. And like Earl said, you know, no one's ever going to miss if they can take 3 minutes on the shot, right? Yeah. So, but even with a shot clock or whatever, however you want to look at it or call it, he just,
you know,
it's a little bit upsetting, I guess.
I'll tell
Maybe
you what's
that's
really
the right
upsetting, okay? What's really upsetting is when the player you're playing has a slow pace.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it takes so long to win a game with that guy, you know. And then when you miss a ball, and then you say to yourself, oh, my God, I got to wait all this time now to get back
Right.
to the table.
Yeah.
And that's what's upsetting. But when you're playing a player that has a fast pace, you know, at least you get back to the table quickly.
Yeah, maybe, but a lot of times you play fast-paced players, you see a mistake coming. You know what I mean? You just kind of feel it's coming, but you better not try to get those feelings with Josh.
No.
And good thing we have
You'll be disappointed.
Yeah, good thing we have the shot clock here to remedy that other scenario you talked about.
Yeah.
All right, a long 2-ball.
I don't think it's pocketable in the upper right. So therefore, it's found a way slightly behind the 7, precluding Ouschan from pocketing it in the right-hand corner.
Well, don't think Ouschan. You know, he evaluates as well as anyone, in my opinion. And what he'll do is he'll evaluate the entire outcome of these next few innings right now.
But to get straight back underneath him at this time is not really out of the question
Well,
here.
that's what I was getting at. He'll evaluate how the safety's going to go down. Am I going to get the snooker? If I don't, I'm taking the worst of it. And he will come with the tough shot. He is not one to back off a tough shot. If you ever go look at some of his highlights, that'll tell you.
See, he can back it underneath him where the cue ball is now. And he has a couple interfering balls with the 6 and the 5 if he happens to miss it. But the angle that he's presented with here may be a little too fast with the cue ball to utilize both the 6 and the 5. So let's see what he does.
I think if he does shoot at it, it's all out. He may be laying the cue ball on the left side rail here and the 2 on the other same side rail right here. I need some good speed. This is going to come up a little. Not bad.
Yeah, I think he's got him pretty good.
Yeah.
Cue ball's even positioned close to the side rail, which really restricts filler from doing some of the things that may be better with this shot.
Now this is going to be a difficult hit. Not hitting it itself, but hitting it correctly.
He's going to want to elevate here too, because
I think he's going to go with top, trying to follow the cue ball down. Oh, he is elevating.
Yeah, you don't want to scratch.
No, but that's why I say it's risky. You get more out of it. He almost made it accidentally, I believe, but I know you don't want to scratch, Billy, but you want the cue ball coming down to this in rails, and that's why I was saying it's a difficult hit because you do have to risk the scratch a little bit to really get any results. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but when you hit it with a follow, don't you? Isn't the cue ball going to take off?
Well, you're trying to hit it full though. And follow through the 2, and then let the 2 just carry up, hopefully to the middle of the table-ish. You know, I wouldn't have minded him just trying to kick it in cross corner. To be honest with you, it wouldn't have been bad.
Well, anyways, yeah, Ouschan's at the table, trailing 3-2 here, looking to tie this match up. The shot here is the telling shot in this particular act, dropping it nicely for the 5. He's going to have good speed with the cue ball.
Yeah, just make sure you come in between the 6-5. Kind of an obvious statement, but all right, I was told and always am that, Billy, you were right. It was Filler that beat Federer in the straight pool final, so he must have beat Ruslan in the semifinal.
Well, the point is that he just has it all, you know.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Nice shot there.
Nice, yeah, very nicely executed. Hitting the center of the pocket.
And a nice aggressive stroke, even though being jacked up.
Now he's got an angle where he may play the short side of the 7. He played the 7 in the same pocket. Well, he was able to follow through, which indicates that the angle that I thought that he had, he didn't.
Well, I'll tell you what, he also made the angle look a little more slim with that great stroke getting through the ball. Of course, many of us know, I don't know how many world titles there are in that household of Albin Ouschan and his sister Jasmine.
Yes.
It's not just...
I was kind of wondering.
Yeah.
The similarity there with the name.
The name
Ocean.
and the titles and everything else. Yeah, no.
Huh? So it's in the blood.
Yeah, and excuse us. Yeah, Nick Varner.
Oh, there's my man, Nicky.
Yeah,
Nicky.
I saw him last night at the pool room for a few minutes, and what a timeless character that guy is.
Yeah. Talking about one of the best American players ever. You're looking at him right now, Nicky Varner.
Yeah, some of the feats that he's done in our game will never be touched, in my opinion. 13 wins in 1 year. I believe that's what it was.
Went to the Philippines and beat Efren Reyes.
Yeah.
And that's no easy task.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get to spend some time room with Nick a couple times. Actually, his only WPA World 9-ball title, he beat me in the finals, Billy, and we were rooming together in Spain. How do you like that?
That's great. You were lucky enough to do that.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, I was unlucky because I played him in money matches a few times.
Well, I wasn't too lucky in the final right there either, so I kind of handled everybody that week except for the Kentucky Colonel.
No, we just play cheap when we play, and I've learned a lot playing Nicky Varner, and he's won a lot playing me, even though we were playing cheap. Anyways, back to this match.
No, he's a great guy for the sport.
Love him.
And just timeless. He's got some great stories, too, if you ever get a chance. 3-3 here now. Always want to kick this way. You got a lot of good things as far as a cue ball could come over in the area it's in now, off the 2. You could make the 2.
That's an excellent point. And you got to hit it with a medium hard speed, but not real hard.
Right. Kicking towards congestion is what it's called.
And that's exactly what he's tried to do, what you just...
Yeah, you never know, right?
Yeah, and it kind of like worked out. I don't think he's going to be in good shape when he comes back to the table, but it kind of worked out just for an instant here. Let's see what he...
Just edge this and use the 7-9. I wouldn't go crazy on this one.
I think he's got to kick off the short rail here into the tube and go into the 9-7 with the cue ball, maybe, if possible.
You could create a lot of luck that way.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's has some merit to it.
Yeah, and I'm wondering why, unless you know you're going to come back, right, on the 7-9 like Josh was, I like just laying them on that rail over there, making this kick a little more distorted, a little off,
a little wider angle.
Yeah, exactly, right? You don't get as good a feeling on it.
Or he can't go into the 9-7 from that angle.
Exactly.
But I think if he kicks it softly here, he can go into the 9, and the 7 will end up being the good interfering ball.
Yeah, good call.
Wow, but he opened it up and he popped the 2.
Where was the 2 really going to go and give up a shot? So good call there for Billy. And again, I don't think I come back onto the balls there unless I know I'm coming back onto the 9 and 7. I think you leave a little tougher kick shot to calculate.
Looks like he's got a natural position if he banks it softly with a follow, but he's putting a lot of eggs in that pocketing the 3.
Yeah, but he's a pretty aggressive player.
Just like that.
He's a smart player, of course, but.
And I think he played it on the high side for some reason.
Yeah, why not?
Because he didn't really threaten the pocket.
Well, the thing is about the high side when you're on a slick table, right? Very hard to hang that bank. It wants to go in if it hits the high part of the pocket.
Another
so,
excellent point. Very good.
Okay, not enough to swerve the rail first and no escape that way. So really opting for the kick instead. Knows that if he gets a piece like that, he gets separation.
Very nicely kicked. He did leave the edge of the ball for Ouschan here, and I think that's all he needs to be able to see. I don't think anything bad can happen with this shot. He either pockets it or he overcuts it and plays a good safety. Therefore, he's at the table now, and I think he has the edge from this position.
And he's got to play a smooth speed to really guarantee shape on the pink, though. Yeah, I like that. It's center cut. Center cut there.
Yeah, that's why he's a world champion right there. One of the, if shooting shots like that, knowing that I got to play with a correct speed after pocketing the ball, as opposed to I want to make sure that I hit this a little more thinly in case I miss it. No, he played to win there as opposed to playing not to lose.
Right.
So therefore, I like what he's done there. Has a lot of confidence in his ability.
Well, yeah, we talked about in the last match, like a Dennis Grabe, right? Dennis relies on his cue ball being nice. Don't get me wrong, he shoots great. Like all these guys are great pocketers of the ball, right? You could say some would label Albin as a guy that relies on his cue ball as well. He's a very good position player like most of the Euros. But I see him being as one of the ones that can come with the shot as well.
Well, he's going to have to come with one here. He's fallen quite a bit short on position for the 5. And also the 7 ball now comes into play. So therefore,
I think he goes long of the 7 in between the 6-7 off the third rail. If he hits it well, I mean. Ooh, caught a little brush. Deserved it though, right? Clean
absolutely.
hit.
When you pocket a ball that carries that type of difficulty, you've really earned it. Therefore, he's at the table now. With an opportunity to edge ahead in this match, 4 games to 3. Any angle on the 8 will suffice here. Just make sure you have a shot at it.
Yeah, just nothing too thin. Stay away from the extremes. Nothing too straight and nothing too thin. And that should do. I believe this is for his first lead of the match.
No, I think he had a lead early in the match.
Oh, did he? Okay.
I think it was 2-1. I'm not certain.
Okay, hasn't been on a string just yet.
He's really not comfortable yet at the table. He's fallen short of the mark a couple times, and I think it's bothering him a touch.
Well, like I said, I don't recall him having a match on this main table just yet.
Well, anyways, he can look at it from another perspective as well. I'm not really playing my best game, but yet I'm ahead 4-3.
Right. Yeah, and I know he had a couple of very decisive wins. That sometimes doesn't work against you. It's always great to win easy and play great doing it. But, kind of anticipates hard to win this one in a runaway, right? So
yeah.
Maybe a little different mentality going into this match.
And possibly the player he's playing, his presence,
sure,
could be interfering with
sure
his ability here a little bit.
In a perfect world, you play every game the same, you look at every player the same. But
yeah.
That's not
That's not going to happen.
That's not realistic. That's why I tell people, you're going to recognize hill, but if we can make it as close to, just like the first game as possible, you're never going to make it the same. Your heart rate's going to go higher, everything is going to go higher. It's just a matter of trying to get it close to the same. All right, the 2 ball's going to develop, I think. 3-9 looks.
I don't know how the 3-9 looks.
It looks throwable to me.
Looks pretty close.
It looks throwable to me. Either way, now, no matter if he can get to that side of the 3 he needs.
Getting to, it's going to be difficult.
I think he throws, because the 8's precluding a little bit, but if he falls between the 6 and 8, even with distance, I think the 9 goes right on in.
But there's nothing natural available for him to do that.
The 2's not good. The angle
It's
on the
good,
2?
but he's got to.
He's got to cue it. You're saying he's got to pound it a little bit.
He's got to hit a little in the center of the ball. You know, he's got to check it over there, and to do that, he may end up going toward the 6.
Well, yeah, there's a little space between there. But don't get fooled. You can throw it with a little space like that. We
Yes,
saw
you can.
one the other day that
Yes, you
threw with
can.
much greater space between. So sometimes you get them to where you can shoot them either way.
Exactly.
If he gets underneath the 3 here, he can pop it with like a center ball and just cut it and chop it. But I still like playing for the throw shot myself.
This shot here is very difficult.
Oh,
Wow.
He's trying to get below it.
Really? Oh, wow.
Well, now the 8's got him cut off at throwing it, Billy.
Yeah, he's got to
Oh,
hit.
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. He can do it, I think.
I think he's got to hit more the top of the 3 if he wants to throw it.
You just got to hit it light.
Yeah, if it's throwable. And like Jeremy said, the balls don't need to be frozen to throw. A lot of players really, truly don't understand that well. But
Yeah.
that's correct, 100%.
If he hits it light.
No, he's not playing it.
He's hitting it hard to play safe.
He's not playing it.
I know. He's hitting it firm to play safe. And, hey, listen, not knowing for sure, he knew that was going to happen.
Right.
So nothing wrong with that play.
No.
No, I've I've been on the road with very good players and sweating them, because I'm in with them.
Yeah.
And a dead ball just laying there for like
And they don't understand the
6
shot.
or 8 innings in a one pocket. And the funny thing is, the guy they were playing didn't know either because he kept leaving it. So,
Yeah, well, if it's
And
not
these were
broke,
good
if
players.
it's not broke, you don't need to fix it. In other words,
Yeah.
if you don't understand that shot, your opponent, you might as well leave it to him again.
well, I could tell that neither one of them knew. Now, do you chip the 3 trying to go at the 9 here, Billy? It's a little steep.
Yeah, can you control the cue ball?
Yeah, you can control the speed, and the 3 should come out enough to get the snooker with the 5 and the 8. The key here, though, if you want to have any chances, believe it or not, you can't hit it super easy. You need to make good contact on the 3 that way. Otherwise, you're going to go long like this. Probably just playing that shot anyways, right?
Yeah,
Ignoring the 9,
yeah.
somewhat like
I
the
would-
last play he made.
I would think so. I think that if you're asking a little bit too much of yourself, that's when you end up losing games. You start dwelling over that. Oh wow, why did I do that? Stuff like that. You got to play. You got to play solid when you're playing.
Is he going 3 rails here? Oh, 1 rail. That's surprising.
Once again, when you hit kicks with that type of speed, they have a tendency to come up short, as that one just did.
And he had a nice kick to the left side of the 8 that I thought was pretty much a guaranteed hit. Now he's sending the 3 maybe up table here a little bit, but a little short there and still kind of wondering what's going on with his speed control.
With ball in hand, too. Oh my.
Well, yeah, in the last rack, we saw him in perfect position a couple times, ended up short. So, which I've always thought this and said this, that any player, any pros, right, when the pressure's on, and it does not matter what sport we're talking about, the underhit is the issue for the most part on the great players, and quite opposite for amateurs. They tend to overhit the ball when nerves are high.
He certainly made a nice recovery there.
Now just pinch this back for the same corner, right?
I would think that would be an option.
Still a little shy.
A little short again, The cue ball will come close to that side, but obviously not toward it. It'll go past it slightly. Now, he only has a half a pocket with the 8 because the 9 cuts off a part of that pocket, so he's got to take a look at it.
Could play an 8-9 combo as well, but if he's going to play the 8, you want a slight angle on the 8. That way you can move the cue ball a little bit just in case you rub the 9 going by, right?
Yeah, but you want to get as close as you can.
Sure, you
To
want
the
it
8.
close, yeah.
You want to get close as you can to the 8.
And the reason why that is for accuracy.
Especially when the ball, when the pocket is cut off a little bit, like the 9's cutting it off. But he's close enough to hit it good. I look for him to hit it with some decent speed.
That's what I was going to
he
say.
played the
I wouldn't be
9. Okay.
surprised he doesn't even flirt with that because pretty easy combo, right?
Okay. All right. Well, now he's managed to take a 2-game lead.
After 8 games, yeah. I think Albin inquiring when he's allowed to take his time out, and it's only on his turn. We've got some players, of course, warming up for their round of 16 match. Not two of Russia's finest. It is two of Russia's finest, Fedor Gorst and Ruslan Chinakhov. Very good to see Ruslan. What I've seen the last couple of weeks since Ohio, you could tell he wasn't in form in Vegas. Then in Ohio, he just got a little bit better. Straight pull, I thought, was going to be something that boded very well for his game because he loves it and he's a monster at it. And no surprise to me, he's in the final 16 here in Ruslan. Mika Immonen up 6-4 on our only other match going on right now over Maximilian Lechner. I'll tell you. Go ahead.
There was a few people that had Lechner the favorite in that match.
Very few, you said?
No, there were quite a few people.
Oh, I would too. He's a guy that plays better every match, it seems like. Of course, Mika maybe not exact like he was in his prime.
And he beat Yap convincingly as well, the match that preceded that.
Yeah. Well, here we go again. And I think it was you and I that talked about it. I think I would just be cutting these racks. Just a little snip, and then it comes apart very easily instead of having to, replace the balls like that. But there is a very uniform way to do it. Man, this is touchy. The 5-9's big. So don't be afraid to just chop the 2 a little bit and end up on the side rail with the cue ball about the middle diamond. Try to let the 2 come up to the opposite one.
Yeah, that's definitely an option.
Wow, how good was that? He may leaving him a little bit of a window. We'll
I don't think
see,
he can get through there.
I wouldn't think so, but Josh doesn't look too happy.
Well, you're right. It didn't appear that he could even get through there on that angle.
The way the 5-6.
Yeah, it just doesn't look like he can get through there, to the 2. But evidently, he might be able to. I don't even know if that's correct anyways.
I think Josh is fooling us a little bit. I think he does have a piece of it, but just nothing to play.
Yeah, but even if he does have a piece of it, I'm saying,
there's no option
maybe you're
there.
better off kicking.
Yeah. We're on a player timeout at 5-3 here. You can see it's the Q-Tech 2021 International 9-Ball Open brought to you from Accu-Stats and Pat Fleming. Right?
Now let's take a look at this shot here. Remember?
Yeah.
I said he was better off kicking.
2 rails underneath, trying to get a full hit.
I don't know. He might have to go into the ball here.
No, got to be underneath.
Okay. Wow.
Wow, great shot.
No, that was perfectly executed. He played that shot. He also played it, if he missed it, for the 2 ball to rebound back to the center of the table. 2 ball goes up table. Therefore, there was a lot of value in that shot, and he really got the maximum out of it with his ability to hit it as accurately as it needed to be hit.
Yeah, not quite like our last match, but early, of course, earning these rewards, that is Albin Ouschan, but kind of things going his way early. Filler had to play a safety there, not really much he could do. Played a nice safety. Just a better return from Albin Ouschan, and Filler's just going to have to maintain, huh, Billy? And
Absolutely,
wait for
yeah.
a shot.
But I'm sure he'll be able to do that because of his credentials and what he's done.
Yeah.
With his pool career, winning major titles, world championships.
Yeah, you can't steamroll all the matches like he does sometimes. He really puts it on players. Got to win some of those close ones, some of those gritty ones where you come from behind. But he knows the more time Albin gets at the table, the very much more unlikely you're going to see a big mistake.
And if the balls aren't cooperating for Filler, now he knows that the balls will at times turn, and he's patient enough to wait for it. But really, he has no choice.
Yeah, funny little shot here. If he had a hair more angle, he probably just follows to the in rail and up. Now he's going to draw the cue ball to the side rail.
Right. And once again, he's on the funny angle.
Oh, I think he's perfect.
Yeah, he can go cross table, or he can draw it straight back towards the side.
I think there's more angle. I think he's pretty much got to come across.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now I can see it better.
Yeah. Really killed it there.
Yeah, he hit the top side of the pocket, which slowed the cue ball up.
Right. Just a high ball here. Shouldn't wrap the corner being stretched. A little thick to the hole, but
Yeah. He's creating some distance now. 6 for 3.
That's right. And going to break in the next, Billy.
He's putting a lot of demand on Filler's part. In other words, when Filler gets to the table, he needs to be able to run out.
Our rack track, with him winning, actually Filler winning 3 out of the first 5, but all Ouschan since then.
Yeah, winning 4 consecutive games. And like you mentioned, the balls have been cooperating for Ouschan, not so much for Filler. It's not that Ouschan doesn't deserve to have a lead, but I don't believe he deserved to have a 3-game lead.
Well,
But the only person that can do anything about that is Filler if given the opportunity.
yeah, and
sure.
I'm trying to think of a glaring mistake from Filler. It's just been a lot of great kicking and recoveries from Ouschan, really.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's easier to maintain and remain calm, right? And just wait for your opportunity, I think. It's one thing if you're giving away games. You kind of feel like you might not ever get that opportunity because you already did and you squandered it, right?
And you're not going to be down on yourself as well whenever you start giving away games away.
Man, he may get an early one here. If he takes on the cut on the 2 in the side, which I think he could, it looks like to me the cue ball crashed right into the 3, really kind of sending that 9 towards that corner.
And from our vantage point, it looks like you could be correct with that. See, from the top view, it doesn't look like it's available. But if I'm looking at the table, the severeness of the cut on the 2
Will
sends
cut
that
the
cue
3,
ball,
right?
Yeah, will send that cue ball
And send the
straight
3
down.
towards this lower other corner as well, right? Yeah. So position should kind of be there is what I kind of see.
Yeah, he's going to get positive action here. Something's going to go in, whether it be the 2, 3, or the 9. One of those 3 balls figures to find the pocket.
And I don't like the safety, and I like Albin when he takes on the tough shot, so I think he's supposed to go here. Yeah, nice shot.
Got a nice fortuitous little kiss on the cue ball off the 9.
Yeah, and he caught the 2 a little to the thick side, which is hard to really be so dissecting on the pocket when you're cutting the ball so thin, right? First things first, let's make the ball.
I don't know how severe the cut is. Is it going to send him close to the 4?
Yeah, a little past it, I think, Billy. And it's definitely not as thin as the one he just knocked in, so he won't back down here. May play the 4 in the same pocket as a 3. We'll see. Oh, he really eased it. Oh, he could hold it nicely.
Nice. Well, yeah, well, that's a much better cue ball than what I thought that he may have to play. That was a much better cue ball.
Well, he's another one of those players. I think I talked about it before with Dennis. What he does to make sure he's improving as the match goes, and maybe after he's, his speed control's been off a little bit on a few shots, is he doesn't let a few little, minor errors, in a sense, make him change the way he shoots the next shot. He thinks it's the correct shot. That's what gets him back in stroke, and that's what gets him as comfortable as he can be. He's a guy that really commits. He doesn't fear a tough shot. I'm not saying he had a bunch of tough ones here, but a lot of players would stay away from rolling that 3 as easy as he did to hold for the 4. They'd just go ahead and go past it because they felt like they were going to pocket the 3 more often and not miss it as often. Let's say that. Yeah, he's one that really sticks to what he thinks is correct.
Yeah.
Now just 2 rails above the 8.
He's not going to brush the 9, I don't think so.
No, he should go back easily.
Yeah.
The only problem here is the underhit. Want to get by that 8 ball.
Ooh,
Yeah.
a little brush there he may have had.
Yeah, the 8 wouldn't have passed the 9 with a little brush, and he would have had an issue. That's why I was saying the real mistake really is the underhit there.
Nice. Filler's been in that chair now for a while, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some stats soon.
That's
It'll
5 consecutive wins.
start to tell you about balls pocketed in this match. That's huge. Look at that, 901, balls pocketed 64. Errors made 7. And some of those errors, of course, we got to write them down. You know, it's like an interception that gets batted around. You know, it's got to be written down as an interception, right? Not always the quarterback's fault. Sometimes these guys have to take chances playing position because, you know, that's just what the shot says. I got to gamble a little bit.
Right.
And if they end up snookered, it does have to go down as
maybe,
an error.
Maybe some errors shouldn't be as critical in terms of rating.
Yeah, like I said, you got to write them down as an error, but just understanding that usually you could probably take off 10 to 15%, maybe even a little more.
Yeah.
All right, he's complied for sure. Is he going to get a makeable ball on the... Ooh.
More the templates interfered with the progress of the 2 and rocked back.
How steep is he on this cross side? Is it just too steep? Because I know he wants to be offensive because Albin has kicked out of everything so far. Now, he's just still going to go with the safety.
Yeah.
That's a consummate pro.
And even had the 8 ball for sideboards.
I know, that's why I was kind of looking at it a little bit.
So maybe it was the correct shot or
A possibility.
one of the correct shots.
Yeah. So Albin would love to hit this with a high ball, even though that's a harder way to be accurate on this slick table. And, you know, maybe cut it in, maybe get behind it.
He's got a pretty big ball going 2 cushions at it, though.
Yeah. I'm just saying these guys lose their line a little bit on the slick table with the high ball. I'd like to hit more of a center-ish.
And unfortunately, he can hit the cue ball where he intends to hit it.
Yeah. Watch out for the scratch off the backside, maybe.
Wow.
Oh, scratch off the top side.
Yeah.
That was a 3 and 9 going to tie up.
Let's see what happens here.
It looked like no play on the 3-9. So these two compadres kind of laughing that off.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's kind of that's the way the match has been going. You know, Filler's been having a lot of unlucky things happen here, or he's not getting lucky.
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny. I like what I see there, though, as far as that's where our sport's going. These guys understanding that we're just competing. You know, some days it goes your way, some days it goes mine. You bump this open?
It looks like he's setting up for the carom.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't.
No, I think he's trying to get some speed on the cue ball here. That's why he backed it up.
And now he wants to brush the 3.
Lightly.
Yeah. And this has to be hit accurately. It doesn't want much movement from a 3.
Yeah, doesn't want to hit it very thick. Yeah, that's the one speed was good.
Yeah. He wanted to hit it more on the side.
Yeah,
but,
just a lesser portion of the 3.
But he had the good
speed,
understanding that even if he hit it a little more thickly, he wouldn't hit it with the speed that would send it the 3 toward the 9, or frozen on the 9. So he did a really good job in executing the shot the way it should have been executed. Now, fortunately, the 8's right in front of the side, so he's going to have a pretty easy out here. But he really wants to fall under the 8. He doesn't want to have to go to the side row once he gets 8 on the 8. Let's go across.
Well, I'll tell you what. Like I said, definitely maturing man, and I could have saw a filler a couple years ago maybe banking at that ball. Not saying it was a terrible shot, but not many safeties he's gotten any reward from here in this match, right? So it would have been easy to pull the trigger.
That would
on
be reason enough to say, I got to go for this.
Exactly.
I'm not going to let the pool guards determine my fate here.
Or Albin Ouschan, for that matter. Which maybe it
won't
be long. We'll be calling him a pool guard like some of the others, right? So
okay.
He'll take his reign in the clouds at some moment, right? There you go with the total performance average, TPA. Up there now, over 900 for both. Albin with a few more errors, but that's just time at the table, I think, 64, exactly double of the amount of balls pocketed between the two guys. Mm-hmm. So that tells you a little something about our score line.
But yet both players are shooting above 900, which is very respectable.
Absolutely.
Extremely respectable. You know, and
well, almost take it for granted, right? How good that is. I mean, because I think you're going to see that from these two a lot when they play. Mm-hmm. It'll be very rare when they're closer to 800 than 900.
Oh, absolutely.
I think. But it's still like taken for granted a little bit that they still have to do all the work. You know, remain committed, get a few rolls, and then take advantage of situations. So
coming up dry on the break, but unfortunately for a filler, the balls are really congested on the left side of the table, particularly the 2 behind the 5.
I'm looking right down the line at the 2-5. That may be a little heavy. That may hurt. Oh, my.
He's found himself behind the 7.
Yeah.
And not by much, but by enough.
I think he's got a rail first to clip the 2 and play like you know, if he feels good about it, he could run the cue ball to the bottom rail and then to the side rail behind the 4.
That requires a thin hit on the 2.
Yeah, he could definitely contain just coming to the bottom rail, hopefully dressing the 2 up onto the 5 to where he doesn't leave much.
And he could scratch here, too.
Yeah. That's about all he had, though. I mean, unless he really wanted to risk curving and hitting it thinly like you talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. The good thing for him is he only left the top side of the 2 ball, I believe.
Right. Had he left the whole ball, he would have found himself behind a 5-6.
Right.
But that's not the case here. Now, Ouschan, on the other hand, Ouschan has a problem getting away with the safety here.
Yeah. It doesn't quite sit that great to come across it and mildly. Oh, he's digging downward. So is this swerving with English, or what is this? With some right?
I think you're right. He's going to go into the 6.
Maybe.
If he can get like that.
He could.
Oh, my.
Nice play.
The things aren't really working out for Filler.
Well, he made that look a little easier than he had to cue that with some left and get the ball to throw to escape the kiss there.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but you know, these guys are great players. I'm just saying that he even had the possibility of doing that.
Right, things aren't going for Filler, right? Yeah. Well, look at the kick here. How you like this kick shot?
An eighth of an inch, and he wouldn't have had that possibility.
Everything's in the way. The 4's in the way of the 1 rail on the bottom rail here. Cueing is poor for the 3 railer.
He can kick right at the 2 this way. He can draw the ball and kick.
Oh, he's got to hit downward on it, though. But this is, you know, what's in the way here is just cueing, you know, going through. It's hard when you have to shoot at that short rail right there to really get an accurate response on the cue ball. Nice hit.
Yeah, nice hit.
And that's almost all you could ask for.
Now, this is cuttable in the upper right-hand corner. I don't know if he'll opt to play that. He may end up playing the cue ball behind the 9. That seems to be a pretty solid shot, you know.
Yeah, if the 3 was more available, I think he cuts it in. But he could get himself in a pickle on the 3. while making the two, so he didn't want that to happen.
You can't do much better than that.
No. And Josh is going to have to take a little page out of Albin's book, right, and kick out of a few of these maybe to get some things turned around.
He's going to have to do that. That's right.
I don't see him blasting this either. Like a nice rolling rock here.
Could scratch here too if he hits the outside of the 2. A lot of bad things can happen here.
He's going to get away with it. Watch
He
the
needs
cue
to go
ball.
up. He needs
Watch
to go
the
up.
cue
He
ball.
needs to go. Touche, he said.
That's right.
Very nicely executed. And finally getting the reward that he's entitled to at times. Wow. Can he kick behind it? He's going to have to masse it.
Well, I think what he was
can't
thinking
reach it.
is, can he masse it and chop it over a little bit and come up that side using the 3-4 maybe?
Yeah.
Kicking behind it,
Yeah. Yeah.
man, it looks like the 4's in the way to me.
Yeah. And if he gets too far behind it, then he's going to... Or, in other words, if he doesn't get that thin hit on the 2, if he gets too much of a hit on the 2, it'll probably go into the, I don't know, the 5?
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah,
This is the one I didn't mind, the 2-rail kick, right?
I don't think he's at much of a disadvantage with this layout. I really don't.
If the 4 wasn't there, I would totally agree with
Yeah.
you, because that kind of keeps the cue ball from wanting to
On that
escape.
table, yeah. But it can go between the 3-4 easily.
Sure. Yeah, they're a good call. And notice what he did. You'll learn something. He didn't baby it. He didn't blast it, but he didn't let up on it. You need that little bounce deflection off the 2 to create that angle that he did with the cue ball.
Yeah. Right. You can't allow the cue ball go through a ball.
I'll tell you, Albin has put on a display of kicking at the ball this match.
Yeah. Well, this guy here hasn't done bad either.
Oh, no, not at all. But Albin's been winning games with it, essentially. Oh, I expect this to be pretty successful. May not get the snooker, but should keep him off the offensive shot.
Nice speed.
Yeah, he's going to maybe be back behind that 9 ball.
Well, this is a lot more difficult now because of the distance it carries. He can't really, roll it behind the 9s. And now this distance here suggests to me that if he doesn't get him behind the 9, then he's going to leave him a shot.
Well, the 8 ball's helping him as well.
He might go the other way. You might want to cut the 2 to the left and go down table behind the 3. I think that's just as good.
No, with the 7 and everything else involved.
I think that's a good shot. He's going to try to put him behind the 9 again.
Yeah, well.
Well, he's just too good. He's too good.
Well, that's reps there. That's knowing that, hey, it's going to be okay, trusting what my practice has done right there. Because that required a lot of touch. Not so much straight shooting. I mean, there was some straight shooting involved, but...
But then again, is the kick easier now for Filler than it would have been?
Yeah, I mean...
He didn't get a rail. He didn't get a rail yet.
He had 4 balls and didn't get a rail.
Hey, let's take a look.
I understand the kick easier part, but I think Albin felt very good about getting the snooker that way. So I think you have to ignore the kick.
But there were times when you guys think a little bit more forward.
Yeah,
in other words,
yeah, just like the jump. Just like the jump, you have to think of the jump shot that you're defending as well.
Yeah, you got to look at what's the percentage of him kicking good off of this safety as opposed to this safety, and maybe the safety that gives him a better chance of kicking good is easier to execute, but maybe the wrong way to go.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah, and this is the level that you do evaluate those things, You go down a few levels, you start to not evaluate that as much, but...
Yeah, exactly.
Anytime you're talking about the best in the world, and
there you go.
It doesn't matter what sport it is.
That's what we're doing. We're talking about the best in the world. In other words,
right.
You can execute either safety reasonably well, maybe one a little bit better than the other, but the results from the one that is a little more difficult to execute may give you a much better chance of winning the rack.
Right. Yeah, you definitely get more detailed with scenarios when it comes to, the best players. Like I said, whatever sport it is. I just kind of feel like weighing the kick shot there, it kind of felt like edging the ball, running it. You probably don't guarantee the snooker as often, maybe. And to be honest with you, he almost got to practice on it with the first one he laid down. He almost got a little rep in between, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like I said to you, if he doesn't get him behind the 9, you can leave him a shot. He got him behind the 9, and he left him
A decent
kind of a shot.
Yeah.
You know? So, therefore, the other way, you're much less often you're going to leave a shot.
Yeah.
And you're going to really lock him up with the kick.
The tougher kick.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to give him a kick that he's going to be stretched just to hit the ball, as opposed to hitting the side of the ball.
Yeah.
And getting the results that he needs.
Well, yeah, and, you don't want to go against what we talk about. Now, Albin making a nice clearance here to extend that lead back to 4 games. But, we talk about it sometimes in crucial situations. You got to take a little luck take a chance on luck working out for you and guarantee yourself the snooker. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Guarantee you
them going rail first.
In other words, a snooker that's going to win the game for you.
Right.
That snooker wasn't going to necessarily win the game for him, but it did.
Look at the kick performance, average, filler, and, of course, Albin. We've talked about what he's done with the kicks in this match. Way up there for both guys, but the big difference, the bottom one, kick-ins. Look at that, 3-0.
And it's really not a coincidence that we talked about the value of the kick the last match we did with Pagulayan and when he played Marlon. Mario, yeah.
Yeah.
And both of those guys illustrated how proficient they were with kicking.
Right.
And we saw the value of it. In this match, again, we see the value of the kick. So therefore, and if you want to play upper echelon pool and win tournaments in this era, you better hone your kicking skills.
That's right. And like I said, I think there's a few more of them these days, and I think they've even taken it to another level on different types of kick shots that win you games. He needs another ball up table. This is not going to be what Filler wanted. And that's the unfortunate part of this rule, is we got to gamble. Like right there, 2 of the balls were going to get past the head string if they didn't collide in the middle of the table.
Yeah, and that's why I really don't like this particular rule.
Well,
I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know what the saying is. I actually have heard it before, and it's just not coming to my mind. But it's it's what we can do to make it as like I said, as best we can for now, right?
I don't think it's the answer.
Well, no, I don't think anyone thinks it's the answer overall.
It attacks the fairness of the game. It really does. And now it doesn't seem fair that has to happen.
Yeah. Well, the only fair thing is...
It's like the last match you did here.
The only fair thing is, though, it has happened to everyone. So, that's the only fair thing about it. But, all right, rail first here because he's got a little bit of a big pocket. Is that what he's looking at? Oh, okay. Ball first using the big pocket just so he could create an angle to get for that 3. Yeah. Really nice play there.
Yeah, and he had to avoid the kiss as well.
Yeah, the cue ball kissing the 4 is what Billy's talking about. Now here.
He would like to go back where it is now.
Yeah, I think I just take the cut.
I think, exactly, because drawing that ball 1.5 feet is very difficult. Even though it may appear simple to a lot of people, it's extremely difficult. So like Jeremy said, take your chances with the thin cut. You can make it 98% of the time.
Yeah, that, and even more so what's necessary.
Position.
If he needed to draw back in that space for a particular reason, not just to improve things, that's different. But it wasn't very necessary. Ooh, that one kind of rubbed its feet as it went through, and it cost him a little bit of cue ball, but still should be fine to play a 3-rail angle off the 6 to the 7.
Well, not necessarily. You can go down and go one rail right across with inside English. I think that's very doable. That way he can stroke this ball will likely go to the rail and then back off the rail. Like this.
It's kind of up to him.
Yeah, now he goes straight across.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, the slick table, to me, sometimes, on the side pockets here with the inside, you can get a little bit off with the speed. Here he's landed perfect, though. He can easily come one rail and not worry about a thing.
Yeah.
Albin, he's a funny guy as far as you'll never really know if he's satisfied or not. Even after he wins the match, it's like he's still processing what happened during the match and how he can get better going into his next match and so on.
But yeah, as you notice, he's starting to really play good now. I mean, it was indicated that first shot he started with when he played that carom for position.
Well, that's what a lot of people, just because he keeps such a good cue ball, is that you don't always see not only his creative mind, but really how much power he possesses and how straight of a shooter he is on the tough shots. You know, he stays in line so well. Never seems like he really overhits a ball, right?
No, it seems like he's playing very nicely now. Very nice.
BPA, the break performance average. Of course, with the lead, you got to figure Ouschan a little head there. Successful breaks 5 for each. Scratches on the break 0, which is something we haven't seen.
No, not with the cut break. With the cut break, it's sort of like makes the scratch on the break more possible.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't act like the match we did. The last match we did, there were 4 scratches on the break.
Right. Yeah, 3 in the first 9 games. The guys got a little better as the match went, but you know, some of those scratches, the guys will tell you it's on them, but then some of them you just have to, you know, cue ball zigzagging back and forth through multiple object balls moving around, right?
Yeah, right.
And you're going to get some.
Well, you're going. That's just the nature of the cross break,
Right.
Of the cut break, and that cue ball is going to be traveling around balls. You're going to get a lot of kisses. Some of those kisses aren't going to work out well for you.
Yeah, now other than just really something that I don't see happening.
Well, he got a little kiss. Oh, then he got a kiss away.
Filler's going to need some help from Albin to make this comeback, and he knows that's a guy that doesn't lend very much help towards his opponents.
Yeah, he's going to need
1-9
help.
combo here, huh? Looks good to me.
Yeah, it looks like it's okay.
Yeah, does he draw it? Does he follow? You can do either.
I think he's got to follow it, try to get some distance.
I just think you make it more often with follow. Yeah, just like that. I don't think there was much concern as the miss or make. And maybe that was just a shot. Maybe that was filler.
Yeah, but
maybe that was a score
You hit
line.
it more accurately if you follow
That's
it
what I say.
anyway.
That's what I say. I think he makes it more often with the follow.
Yeah, go underneath on that cue ball. You get a little more squirt, unintentional squirt, and you know.
Well, it's just a matter of when you draw it, it's hard to maintain the right speed. All of us want to put a hair more into it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Mika Immonen shooting at the 8, I believe, up 9-6 over Legner. So Mika trying to make it to the final 8. And I think he's dangerous in this one match at a time kind of each day format now that we're in.
Yeah, well, you know, I have to respect what you say because you're extremely knowledgeable. And you know Mika's game, and he certainly has the capabilities of defeating anyone, especially if he's well-rested. He's a little older than these younger players.
He's 48
that extra
now,
rest
I think,
for
maybe.
him
47, 48.
means a lot more than it does for a player like Filler or Ouschan or one of the younger players.
Well, I think it just lends also for him to just say, hey, man, let me not get ahead of myself. Let me just put everything into this one match today and see what happens. He's already made a great run.
Now, here's a one-pocket shot. You're going to put it behind a 4 here.
Forget about that.
No? Oh, my.
Forget about that.
Oh,
he's shooting at that one. Now he's probably shooting at this cross side, too, if he can stun the ball up the table. I'm telling you, he may.
Yeah, well.
I mean, it's off angle, don't get me wrong, but
He's
putting him behind the 5.
Yeah.
Opening up the 9, or no. Nice shot. Nice shot there. Ooh, and he cut off a part of the 3 to kick at.
Sure did. I don't think he's a favorite to hit this.
No. I'll tell you what he could do, though, and this slick table plays just right for it, is side rail with just straight top, go right by the 9 and 4 to the end rail and let it straighten out. This is the exact kind of table that plays very good. You want to hit about the middle diamond, maybe a half a tip of right, quarter tip of right, and you can make the ball go the side rail, in rail, and then one rail right up at the 3-6.
Even if you have to put a tip of inside on
that's
it,
why I say a hair right. Just a hair right.
Okay, yeah.
You could try to bend it with draw coming 3 rails to the backside of the 3.
I don't think you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, you could try,
I don't think you
but
can do it.
he's not seeing that other shot. I think he was at first, to be honest with you.
It looks like he's going to miss everything.
Yeah, he's going to go long. Maybe hit the 6 on the way back in. Wow.
Oh, cut it out.
He's going to lose the cue ball. Oh, wow. Didn't deserve that.
No, he didn't. But finally, Filler steps to the table, where he can breathe a little bit, saying, wow.
Yeah, but what about the 8 and 9? I mean, he's trying to see where he can gamble at, trying to get the 8 and 9 open, and I don't really see it. 5's position down table, hard to go into the 8 and 9 off the 4. Hard to go in. He's going to do it anyways, though, I think.
Well, he can go into the 9 and go straight down table.
I know, but I mean, it doesn't have to work perfect, though, is my point. If he catches a sliver of the 8 right here, he could come off the 8, 9 and scratch in this corner down here. Or like here. That's what I mean. He had to gamble, right? So.
He didn't miss it by much.
No, but it was always going to be touchy, and that's,
it's not over for him, though. Even though Ouschan's on the hill, he has the problem with the 8 and 9 now.
Yeah. But my point is, I don't think he'll feel like he has to gamble. Josh could have ran the balls and waited and maybe busted on the 7 to the 8, maybe just played a safety on the 8 instead of, taking that chance right there. I didn't mind the chance, but what my point is, the mentality of wanting to take the chance. Filler being down 9 to 5, he kind of feels like that's a little more justified.
So now, I thought that he could have attained an angle on the 6, cutting the 6 slightly to his left and going to the short rail side cushion and then into the 8.
And then bump the 8.
Yeah, I think that was available if he was courageous enough to opt to do that.
He's pretty darn genius, and he evaluates percentages as well as anyone.
Now, do you go cross table straight at the 9? I don't know.
I think he's ducking myself, unless he had an angle to come into it very confidently, but he didn't want to get snookered right here.
Well, can't he draw or go into it 2 cushions?
Yeah, the side's a little funny there.
Yeah.
He's going to come with control. Watch out. And he's going to take this cut shot on as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think I do much but come 1 rail right into the 9.
I think I just go ahead and try to make the 8.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying natural looks like you just come 1 rail into the 9. Like the focus on the 8. If you're focusing on just making it, I think that's what the cue ball wants to do.
Then let the cue ball do what it wants to do, but make the 8. And if you happen to brush the 9, so be you brush the 9, you probably end up with a shot. If you miss the 9, you hit it with the speed, not to get too far away from the 9.
Yeah, I don't like much side spin here.
So you like that?
You overcut it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you overcut it.
Yeah.
Filler putting the glove back on. I think he felt like that was probably it.
Filler's really not out of this match.
No.
9 to 5. Let's give him 9 to 6.
Probably got a little closer to that corner with the cue ball than he expected.
Yeah, he hit the 8 a little fuller than he needed to, or than he wanted to.
There's our TPAs. Ouschan, a little over 900. Filler, he'd want a little higher than 851, but that may be a hair skewed, with not getting much reward or things going his way overall. When it could have been 50-50, it's just kind of leaned towards Albin.
Right. But Albin's been breaking the balls better than Filler. Perhaps he's had more practice. Breaking the balls. Not really. Rotate the break. They break them.
He's got a lot of action.
The 3 is
I
back.
think the 7 got in his way.
He can see the 3.
Well, the 2, though. The 2's over here on the
Where is
side
it?
rail. The camera's got you a little bit, Billy.
Where?
It's on the left long rail.
Oh, look at that little thing.
Yeah.
Tough push, too. Tough push.
Yeah, I don't know where you push besides on the rail long and straight to where he can't get shape on the 3. I mean,
And you can't even do that because he might even go with rail first, parking the 2, and then playing the 3 in the side.
yeah, that rail first to me looks awfully dicey, though, because
Yeah.
you would roll out
Everything
near the
looks
6.
awful dicey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at least
What do you think about, just bumping the 5 up on the 7, right? And then leaving the jump shot. Trying to tie the 5-7 up. He's going to roll out for the jump anyways. I may have entertained trying to, like I said, put the 5 on to the 7, and you're still going to have the snooker for the jump, right?
I kind of like with the pushing straight in.
That on the rail, huh?
Yeah, I kind of like that better.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot more indecision on what to do with that particular shot.
For
This
filler, you
area,
mean?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Now, you got to give him this. Come on.
Yeah, you can't go down shooting at this. You got, like I said, you got to hope that you get a little something from Albin to make this comeback, but it sounded like he caught the ball going over. I didn't see it, but I heard a little noise on contact, and I guess not. Kenny's on top of it at all
Yeah,
times.
he didn't really. He got quite fortunate to have left what he did here. In other words, I don't really see a good safety here, do you? There's a lot of holes there.
Yeah, I like just tickling the 2 onto the 9 and coming over to the side rail using the 3 and the 9. I know you're leaving him an easy kick, but dang. I don't really see anything else that I'm in love with moving the ball.
Maybe he just wants to put him behind the 5 with a little right spin.
Eesh.
You know,
I like that. Yeah, that's okay. You just, with the 8 there too, you got a lot of good things.
shoot the 2 into the 3, hit
Yeah.
it full.
Hit about the first diamond with the cue
and try
ball.
to get him behind that 5.
Yeah, it's actually land pretty decent to do so. I think he's going with the shot I said, but I like your shot better, Billy. That's the shot I initially saw. Just make sure you got him kicking,
He can see the 2.
Oh, well, that's a big mistake then.
And I'll put him behind the 3-9 here.
Tell you, he's got to watch out. There's a lot of jumps with a big pocket on the 6 up in the corner. So Albin not out of the woods here at all. Can't make this, can he? In the side?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but so the rail first maybe, the jump shot like I said. He's got action in that upper left-hand corner with the 6 being there.
Well, you certainly know a lot more about the action that takes place with jumping balls. What's the possibility of jumping off the table here?
Well, nerves are high, so you could overhit it. It should bounce twice, though, is what I feel. After it bounces twice, usually you got a good chance. He didn't want to risk that. So he decided to play the full hit instead of the cut shot. The full hit really keeps you from sending the cue ball off the table.
Well, that doesn't look like he's going to get back to the table. This first shot is obviously the key shot in this rack. I believe he hits it thinly. He'll have good speed of the cue ball.
Well, he does a light drag as well as anybody. Not a full one with a very, very low tip. But, he'd rather drag the ball a little bit than dead roll it. So we'll see if the cue ball starts with a hair of backspin. It'll turn over quickly.
Right.
Oh, he pulled it. He pulled it. I don't mind that at all.
But if he was confident that he would go into the 9, that probably was a better of the options that he had, the best option he had, because he's going to pocket the 2 more often.
Well, he's going to soft spin this one, I'll tell you that. He cannot go really on the natural angle. That brings in the 9 and the 7. I think he's got to apply a little right.
Yeah, take a little longer shot on the 5.
Is he going 4 rails around?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, he's cueing awfully high. Oh, no, he hit the right English. Nice shot.
Yeah, I think that's all there is.
Yeah, so if things go the way they usually go with Albin Ouschan in a spot like this, we're going to lose filler.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing I've seen this week, and I've mainly been up here, but I've watched a lot of matches. As a whole, I've seen the guy that's supposed to win. That's the guy that's usually moving through. I mean, we don't always see that 9 ball, right? But you could say Albin deserved this match. That's for sure.
Yeah, of course. He played good. He started off a little slow, but the balls cooperated for him, and he was able to maintain a small lead or at least stay even for early in the match, and then he just got his separation due to his solid kicking and good play.
I was going to say at first he was looking at the 7 in the side, and that to me didn't look very good.
No, that small pocket.
Small pocket.
But that was a natural angle to do around the 7 like he did.
Right. And the thing is, in a perfect world, I could understand the 7 in the side a little bit, but if you get a hair off, things become tricky quickly.
Now, this is something that he's going to have to decide what he wants to do. Because he can't go straight across table. He's going to either have to go around the 9 or play the 9 in the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah, that's easy. 1 rail just to the backside of the 9. You got 2 pockets, so don't be short.
Maybe he's playing it in the side. Yeah, okay.
It's like ball in hand. Albin Ouschan, reigning world 9-ball champion. It's going to advance. Thank you, Joshua Filler, for another entertaining tournament. Getting to sweat you, and congratulations on the straight pull. Albin will be back for the final 8. We'll be back for another match here shortly. Coming to you from the International. Thanks, Billy.
Okay.